phone. Good morning to you, Mr. Trump.
Good morning.
Okay, first of all, are you nervous? And is it true you're not actually preparing for the debate?
Well, I'm not nervous, and I could say I am preparing. I'm reading everything. I'm studying everything. I don't have pollsters telling me what to say. I mean, a lot of these folks have pollsters, and they're giving them quips, and they're giving them little kills for Trump. You know, go kill him with this line or that line. You know, they've got it memorized. I don't do that. I don't believe in it. And it's not me, and it really isn't them either, if you really have to get right down to it. They pay a lot of money for these people. And I guess that's what they're going to be doing, according to what all of the pundits are saying.
Donald, do you ever get nervous?
I get nervous. I mean, you have to be a little bit nervous. You know, I know the great athletes are always a little bit nervous, and if you're not nervous, you're going to be flat.
Sure.
So certainly I'm a little bit nervous, but I look forward to it at the same time, and I think I know the subject matters. There's a lot of matters. You know, we're talking about a lot of different things,
Absolutely.
but I think I know them well, and let's see what happens.
Mr. Trump, when you look at the recent polls, you have a steady hold at the top spot there right now. Some would say you have the most to lose in this debate, and that some are criticizing the fact that you don't have policy proposals. So what would be, if you were to become commander-in-chief, what would be your first line of business? What would be your first executive order?
Well, you have many. I want to build up the military so that nobody messes with us, bring it back to really where it was at the height because we're in such trouble. I would absolutely repeal and replace Obamacare. We would do a border. We would make a strong border on, where the southern border, where people are pouring through, where, as you remember, I took tremendous heat. You folks covered it, and you were about as nice as anybody could have been to me, but it was tough in that first week, and now everybody's saying I'm right. I was actually apologized to by various people that covered it, and they actually apologized because I turned out to be right with Kate and all of the terrible things that happened, since I told people what was going on at the border. So illegal immigration is a big, big thing. Taking care of our vets, to me, is very, very important. So there's so many things. Look, the country is a mess. And there's so many things that we can do.
I know that over the weekend somebody asked you about, the potential for a vice president or people in your cabinet. It's way too early to talk about that, but you are from the business world, Donald Trump. You know some of the titans of industry. If you were president, would you enlist some of your fellow titans of industry to help you out with some of the troubling problems facing this country?
Well, certainly in the administration I would. I think maybe for a VP you want to go political because, to have two business people, maybe that's a little bit much. But certainly within the administration, I would put people in. As an example, for negotiation against China, I have people that are so good that they would, China will be, believe me, it won't be the same. They're just draining us.
So these are
taking our money.
Pardon me, these are business leaders?
These would be oh, yes, they would not be political people. These would be business people. And Japan, they send millions of cars to the United States. We get nothing. We have to restructure that whole thing because they're making a fortune and we're getting the short shaft. So it's it's a whole big thing that I would be doing, and I would certainly use the best business people, the best negotiators in the world, because we have the best negotiators in the world. We don't use them. We use political hacks and people that don't have any talent.
Well, the speculation, Donald, this weekend about whether or not Joe Biden, speaking of vice presidents, would throw his hat into the ring. And also word that Hillary Clinton is just in a huge ad buy. We saw the first ads of the season. Who would you rather go up against, Hillary or Joe Biden? And do you think Biden stands a chance?
Well, I think that he may very well get in Clinton because she's doing so badly. I actually think her email problem is a much bigger problem than people are talking about. General Petraeus was destroyed for doing much less. What he did was peanuts by comparison to what she's done. And he was, he was destroyed. It was very sad what happened to him. But she's in big trouble, I think, with the email, so I'm not even sure she's going to be able to last. Let's see what happens. If you had honorable prosecutors, this would have already taken place. But the prosecutors are all Democrats, and it's a little bit strange what's going on.
Who would be tougher to beat, though?
I think that it doesn't matter. I'm not even focused on that right now. Look, Hillary was the worst Secretary of State in the history of this country. I think that she is very vulnerable. I think that she is very beatable. I don't think she's very beatable by a lot of the people that are running. My first concept and my first thing is to focus totally on the people that we have. You have now 17 of them, a total of 17, and that's really where my thought process is. Other than I'm talking about constantly the bad job that the president's doing, the horrible job he's doing with the military, with the vets, which is scandalous what's happening in the Veterans Administration, with so many different things. Healthcare is a disaster. You know, Obamacare is a disaster, and it doesn't kick in to 16, and frankly, really kick in until 16.
Right.
And people aren't talking about it as much right now, but Obamacare is a bomb waiting to explode.
Well, and regarding the Hillary versus Joe Biden information, the story this morning is that it sounds like he's 90% in. It sounds like he's going to do it. But let me ask you this, Donald Trump. Imagine what kind of a choice is Barack Obama going to have to make on who he would support? I mean, go back to the 2012. Supposedly, President Obama made a deal with Bill Clinton. Okay, listen, you help campaign for me, and I'll help Hillary. Okay, right. Fast forward to today. If Joe Biden, his sitting vice president, says, hey, boss, I could use your help, what's Barack Obama going to do? Well, it's going to be a tough position for him, and assuming he supports anybody, and maybe behind the scenes he'll support Biden, because one thing about Biden, he's been loyal to Obama. Loyal to a fault, because so many of the things have been so bad. But he's been very loyal to Obama, and I think if he was going to be forced to support somebody, everybody says the word is that he just doesn't like the Clintons. And I don't know if that's true or not true, but, you know, in theory, he does not like Hillary and he does not like the Clintons. So you would think if he was going to be forced, he may very well go with Biden. Sure. But we'll have to see what happens. I don't know how effective Biden's going to be. He's got his own problems. That's one problem, as you indicate, in the Democratic Party. Another one may be that their spokesperson, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, after being asked last week the same question about the difference between Democrats and socialists. So what's the difference between your party and socialism? She couldn't answer, and then she was asked again. Watch.
Can you explain the difference?
You know, Chuck, it's always fun to be interviewed by Chris Matthews, and I know that he enjoys that banter. The important distinction that I think we're going to be discussing, I'm confident we'll be discussing in this campaign, is the difference between Democrats and Republicans.
No straight talk there.
Well, I think she's a terrible spokesperson. I watched that, and I thought it was terrible. I thought her performance was terrible, and I really think she is not a good spokesperson for whoever she's representing. And frankly, you know, I hope she stays in that position, assuming I get it, assuming I win. I just hope she stays in that position, because she is so bad at representing the views of the Democrats that it's absolutely incredible.
Is Reince Priebus a good spokesperson for the Republican side?
Well, we've had a very good relationship, especially, you know, over the years. Don't forget, I was a very, very establishment person prior to wanting to run. You know, I was at the top of their list. They loved me very much. And then maybe the love sort of dissipated when I said I'm running, because I'm not establishment. I don't want to be establishment. I don't want to be a politician, all talk, no action. I don't want to get things done. And, you know, over the last week or so, we've developed a very good relationship. He is a good man. I've known him for a long time, and he's trying to do the right thing, and we have developed a very good relationship.
Mr. Trump, at the debate this Thursday, if someone throws a punch, how strong will your counterpunch be?
Well, it'll be a counterpunch. Who knows how strong it'll be? I mean, you don't know what they're going to throw. And again, you know, they have their pollsters that telling them exactly what to do. And maybe they won't throw. You know, there's one theory that they won't throw any. They're going to talk about policy, which I would prefer. I would prefer discussing the issues, whether it's illegal immigration or the veterans being treated so badly or so many other things. The military, we have to build up our military. We have no choice. We have to. And so many other things. So I would rather discuss that. But I just don't know what's coming. You know, some of them may be, you know, they're pretty low in the polls, and maybe they figure by hitting Trump, it'll bring them up.
Yep.
You know, we'll have to see what happens. I have absolutely no idea. And, you know, what I've told people, I've never debated before, that's all these guys do. They debate. They don't do anything, but they debate. Every night they go in a debate with somebody. You know, I haven't done that. But I think I'll do fine, and I look forward to it, actually.
And we'll all be watching Thursday night right here on Fox. Donald Trump joining us on this Monday, just like the old days. Mr. Trump, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.